Greetings. It's a fine Sunday afternoon. The date is the 2nd of March 2025. I'm here again to do another video, but this time I'm going to call it Side Note 4 because as I've been teaching on Revelations 13, there's a strong point there about leaders and leadership. So I just wanted to step aside, change gear a little, and talk about some things that are happening in our daily lives. Recently, or very recently, we've heard quite a lot about Trump and Elon Musk in the United States, and also very recently Trump, Vance, and Zelensky. So I just wanted to share some thoughts that with you. Probably you know this, but I'm going to go through it in any case. When we talk about the Antichrist and the false prophet in Revelations 13, we are confronted with this issue of leadership and world leaders and the response of the general public and nations to these people. At the present time, the world is focused largely on Donald Trump in America, and the news is quite interesting. He's recently seen the Prime Ministers of France and the UK. And of course, most recently, Zelensky visited the White House. It was quite a drama there. We saw, for instance, that social media is very full of the clips and the discussions and the comments about the fallout between those leaders in the Oval Office of the White House. And it was very public because the media were present, and so the whole drama was beamed to the world. I found it quite entertaining. It's unlike the days of the Biden administration where there was no press briefings, etc. And we're back to the time of his first period as President of the United States, where there were constant press briefings, which were, in a sense, very entertaining. We see Zelensky coming to the United States again, ostensibly to ask for money and arms for the war in Ukraine. And the strong impression was he was there with the motive to bamboozle Donald Trump and Vance in a similar way to the way he did it with Biden and Harris. But unfortunately for him, he was confronted with something else. They did not allow him to come dictate his terms. They told him in no uncertain terms that he's responsible for the war in Ukraine and that he must seek peace through negotiation. He kept trying to interrupt and sidetrack the issue, talking about the support that they should give him and all the bad things that are happening, and the United States should continue to help him to fight that war. But Vance and Trump just resisted. And I loved it when Trump clearly showed that he had an obsessive hatred towards Putin, and that he cannot actually enter negotiations at the negotiation table with that stance, and that he'd have to retract on it. But what was not shown before in the result of it all was that they did leave the room, got a bit more private, and went to a private room to go and see how they could rescue the situation. And the effect afterwards was that Trump told him, get them out of here, and said that, tell him that they can come back when they're ready to talk peace. So some of the media actually reported that Trump kicked Zelensky out of the White House, but that's just figurative speech. He basically gave him the cold shoulder and sent him away. And there was even jokes to say that the staff were given his food. They have these banquets and meals afterwards. So that's quite funny. But this side of Trump's leadership was purposely blocked in the past by the biased media. They never showed that form of leadership and that form of strength, and it was vehemently resisted by the Democrats in the mainstream media, and as well as in the social media. But the fact that they hated so much Trump when they were ruling is clear. That's why now some people are seeing for the first time actually who is Trump and how does he conduct business. The Democrats hated him so much that they tried twice to impeach him. They claimed always that the Russian hoax, that Russia was in collusion with the American elections to try to change it in their favor, and of course the January 6th insurrection, which they called insurrection, which I disagree with personally, because I understand from history what the meaning of insurrection is. I don't think that January 6th drama at the White House was an insurrection. But be it as it may, people can differ. So one thing I want to say that the efforts to bring parties to the negotiating table was totally absent during the Biden-Harris administration. What you see happening in the world now was totally alien to them. They were clueless. They didn't have the wherewithal or the will or the ability to bring parties to the negotiation table. Hence the reason for why that war was raging on for all that time. Now there's the possibility of a ceasefire agreement, and as difficult as it might be at the negotiating table, a deal has to be set or made so that peace can be made and rebuilding can take place. But unfortunately, they were clueless and they were basically seen as warmongers. They were actually pushing the war. The Biden-Harris administration, along with NATO, who, in my opinion, are the basic cause for the war in Ukraine. I know a lot of the viewers that see this video of mine will vehemently disagree with me, and they're welcome to have their opinion. This is my opinion, and I share the opinion with several other people also, quite a lot of people. And people may see the anger on the side that somebody can talk like this, because this is the problem in the past 4 years, that you had censorship where freedom of speech was severely impeded, and if you disagree, you can bounce off. There's no longer the situation of censorship where people need to be afraid to say these kind of opinions, as if we need to be bullied into keeping quiet or regurgitating a made-up narrative that is not true. So, which is accepting nonsensical ideas. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's in interesting times. Unfortunately, the way things are going, it's not looking good. It might show elements of improvement, But I think we're still on the edge of a very dangerous precipice. World War III can happen. One shot, one undisciplined action can cause everything to flare up, even despite the fact that it's looking like people will get to a negotiation table to start peace talks. So um, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, and you have a blessed afternoon further.